Premiership Power Rankings for round 3, folks. Some pretty high scores in the Premiership over the weekend. Didn't see as much as I would have liked with a bit of international rugby on with the Rugby Championship, but also a sick child who's all good now, but he is still home. Taking one more day to recover from school, before school. So, certainly some close finishes, and as I said, some kind of, 90, 80 point games going around. So happy days for the Premiership for the most part. Not so happy for Bath, who I've got down in a familiar 13th spot, down one. They lost at home 39-31 to kind of beleaguered Wasps. It looked like it was going to be an atrocious scoreline, but at least they kind of came back to the point where they might have been able to win the game, but not quite able to hang on for a losing bonus point at the end. So disappointing, but at least, a relatively young squad showing some promise, and they still get fantastic turnouts at the Rec. So, down one for them. And also down one for Newcastle. Now, off the field, Newcastle's obviously in a better position than Worcester, but on the field, Worcester gave them an absolute hiding, 39 points to 5. McGuigan gets on the board again. He seems to get on the board every week, but that's the only points they get the entire game, 39-5. So, yeah, man, you got to be doing better in that result, don't you? And that fixture, if you're a team like Newcastle, Worcester are your direct kind of competitors, but they didn't even get close. Somebody's decided to start mowing the lawns. We shall plough on. Worcester, speaking of Worcester, well, who knows what's happening with them at the moment. They're going into administration. There's going to be no games on the cards. So this 39-5 win over Newcastle, some nice tries. Duane van der Merwe gets one. Fenter sets up Simpson, some pretty thing of beauty tries, but maybe their last game for a while. We'll just have to wait and see. We really don't know what's happening, but I've got them up 2 spots on the power rankings, so that is what it is. Lastly, I got London Irish here in 10th. They are down a spot after their loss to Bristol. Another one of those high-scoring games that I mentioned, 40 points to 36. They had a 10-point lead. Arundel showed some gas to set up one. He gets one a bit later on. They do push back to at least get a losing bonus point and obviously a 4-try bonus point. But, yeah, that was certainly a game of momentum swings. Started with London Irish, then it was all Bristol, and then London Irish kind of finished the stronger of the two sides. So, weird game, but for London Irish, it's only the losing points and the score points that they take out of it. Not able to stop Bristol's run. Wasps, I managed to put up a spot. Like I said, we don't know what's happening with them either at the moment. I think administration was potentially on the cards the last time I checked. I can't remember where it's at. I know their fixtures, I believe, are still on, whereas Worcester's at the moment are off. Like I said, with the Bath result, it got a bit hairy for them, but they managed to kind of hold on and deny Bath a losing bonus point. So it's more of the off-field stuff that we see what's going to happen with Wasps at the minute. But, in terms of the on-the-field, certainly taking away win any day of the week. Northampton may be a bit tough, but I got them down a spot. They lost to the Tigers at home, 21-41. And, man, what a crowd that was as well. Really beautiful-looking crowd at the Gardens. But, oh, man, they conceded a lot of points when they didn't have many guys on the field. Yeah, I feel like they're going to be a fair few comments about referees from Saints fans at the moment, man. Like, they were up 14-3, they were up 21-10. The scrum was under a bit of pressure, and then just like yellow card, yellow card, yellow card. How many tries did the Tigers score? 15 on 13. Like 4? 3? They blew the score away at the end, so it's hard to keep up when you're genuinely down 2 guys for such a long period of time. So, that's just one of those games, isn't it? 7th, I've got Quins. Quins have had another kind of tough defeat. It's only a 1-point game against Exeter. So they did well to come back from like 24-0 down. Get back in the lead. Some of their exciting players like Northmore and Green and whatnot just tearing things up. But ultimately conceding the last, which is I say a last try, which was maybe a little bit contentious, but yeah, man, 43-42. What a scoreline. Absolutely bonkers game. But I've actually got Harlequins up, funnily enough, despite the loss. They've gone up a spot because Northampton's loss, at least on the scoreboard and whatnot, was a bit worse. Gloucester in the next row I've got in 6. Now Gloucester in another one of these high-scoring games lost 39-41 to Saracens. Rapava Ruskin comes off the bench and was absolutely everywhere, putting in a kick. Gets, is it 1 try or 2? 1 and sets up 1, or was it 2? God, it was everywhere. Phenomenal game. Their maul is still really dangerous, but a late conversion sees Sarries pinch it from them at the end. So tough way for them to finish, but away to Sarries, man. If you'd offered them that before the game, would they have taken it? Maybe. Don't know. 2 points from the game. This sides who certainly walk away with less. Sale were on the bye, so nothing really doing with them because we're so early in the season. Other teams have shot ahead of them, so down 3 spots, which is a bit unfair. But as I said, early season times. And then Sarries, just outside the top 3 on the power rankings, up 1 with that narrow win at home. Most hilarious moment of the weekend, I think, is Daly's pass, which, when it's like 3-on-1, skips Jamie George and goes to Earl. And Jamie George, having been skipped for what would have been a certain try, is absolutely livid. It's pretty rare that you see a team score and one of the teammates absolutely berating another one of his teammates. Like, why would you do that? You just scored. Be happy. Go celebrate. No, he was not a happy man. So how dare he deny a front rower a try? But yeah, man, back from 36-20 down Sarries to really push it home, and that late conversion seals that there were some big time celebrations at that part of the game. But Saracens up 1. Bristol, man, the run goes on. This is the team that we wanted to see last year. Bristol, same as last week, 3rd spot, 40 points to 36 over London Irish. They survive a late comeback. They come back themselves from an early deficit. Lahif gets a pretty nice try. So, yeah, man, can Bristol keep this up? That's going to be certainly one to watch against potentially tougher opponents than London Irish. We'll see how they go against some of the big boys. And then, no respect to London Irish, of course. Disrespect. Leicester, speaking of the big boys, the reigning champions. Well, they know how to punish a team when they're 2 men up. Ashton gets another try. He's closing in on 100. He gets a try assist as well. Nandola has some big carries. But yeah, it's the scrum, isn't it? It's the scrum that really gets them going forward. So up 2 spots on the power rankings. 20-point win away from home. Happy days. You'd certainly take that before kickoff if you'd been offered it. And then lastly, Exeter. Goodness me, I need to update your logo. Yeah, late winner. What can I say? Chiunza. There was a bit of a doubt about the pass potentially being a wee bit forward from Hogg, but yeah, man, what a crazy, crazy game. 43-42 is just genuinely one of the craziest games you will see. And Exeter, are they back to the form of a couple of years ago? I mean, yeah, maybe. They're looking all right. Williams gets a nice try. Yeah, forwards up front. Powering, doing what Exeter does. So, yeah, there you go. Power rankings for the Premiership after 3 rounds. We still wait to see what happens with the Warriors situation, obviously. That's a very concerning one for the competition. But, yeah, next game is postponed, so we'll have to wait and see. You guys let us know your thoughts. Like I said, it's still pretty early on in the season, so teams kind of bouncing around a wee bit. But, yeah, so far so good. Some very entertaining stuff. Happy days if you're a Premiership Rugby fan. You guys, let me know your thoughts, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon.